Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today I am going to deliver a lesson for class 11th, subject zoology. Since in our previous topic we studied about the lipids, in which we saw that lipids are very important organic compounds which are made of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Sometimes small amount of phosphorus, sulfur and nitrogen are also present in lipids. And these lipids are actually formed by the combination of fatty acids and alcohol or glycerol through ester linkages. Now today we will discuss in detail about fatty acids, which are the building blocks of the lipids. So these fatty acids are actually organic acids with a hydrocarbon chain ending in a carboxylic group, that is COOH. And the general formula of a fatty acid may be represented as RCOOH, where COOH is the carboxylic group and this R represents the side chain, which is made up of 2 to 19 carbon atoms. Now, one thing you must remember here, that the solubility of fatty acids in water decreases with increase in the length of hydrocarbon chain, that is the side chain R. Now, carboxylic group, that is the COOH, is in fact hydrophilic or polar, or we may say water loving end, and the hydrocarbon side chain, which is represented by the R, is hydrophobic in nature, or we may say it is non-polar or water insoluble. Now the classification of these fatty acids. These fatty acids are broadly classified into two types. That is, number one, saturated fatty acids, and number second, unsaturated fatty acids. Now, so far these saturated fatty acids are concerned, in saturated fatty acids, carbons are interlinked by single bonds only, whereas in unsaturated fatty acids, they possess one or more single bond or double bond in their side chain carbon atoms. Secondly, the saturated fatty acids form a citrate or linear chain, whereas the unsaturated fatty acids show bend at each double or triple bonds. Similarly, these saturated fatty acids are basically solids at room temperature, and they possess a high melting point as against the unsaturated fatty acids, which are actually liquid in the liquid state at room temperature and also possess a low melting point. Another difference is that these saturated fatty acids, they mostly occur in animals. And animal fat is usually composed of saturated fatty acids, while these unsaturated fatty acids occur mostly in plants. Now, another difference lies in the general formula of saturated and unsaturated fatty acids. The general formula of saturated fatty acid is represented as CnH2nO, where N is the number of carbon atoms. And the general formula of these unsaturated fatty acids is represented as CnH2n minus 2xO2, where N is the number of carbon atom and X is the number of double or triple bonds in the side chains. Now, the most important examples of saturated fatty acids are palmitic acid. The formula of palmitic acid is C16H32O2. Similarly, another saturated fatty acid is stearic acid. The formula of stearic is C18H36O2, and similarly lauric acid is another example of a saturated fatty acid whose general formula is C12H24O2. Whereas talking of the examples of these unsaturated fatty acids, these unsaturated fatty acid examples are monounsaturated fatty acids, represented by MUFA, M-U-F-A, monounsaturated fatty acids. Among these MUFA or monounsaturated fatty acids, the most important fatty acid is oleic acid, whose general formula is C18H34O2. And similarly, another type of this unsaturated fatty acid is polyunsaturated fatty acid, that is PUFA, P-U-F-A, stands for polyunsaturated fatty acid. The important examples of these polyunsaturated fatty acids are linoleic acid, linolenic acid, and arachidonic acid. You must remember these three acids, the name of these three acids, that is linoleic acid, linolenic acid, and arachidonic acid, which are the examples of polyunsaturated fatty acids or PUFA. Now, another important point which we have discussed here is the essential and non-essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acids are those fatty acids which are actually not synthesized by the body and must be supplied through the food of an organism. Whereas non-essential fatty acids are those fatty acids which are not required to be supplied through the food, as the body of the organism is capable of synthesizing such fatty acids on its own. Therefore, those are called as non-essential fatty acids. Now, essential fatty acids. Some animals, including man, cannot synthesize these three unsaturated fatty acids, that is linoleic acid, linolenic acid, and arachidonic acid. These three acids, unsaturated fatty acids, are called essential fatty acids, as they must be supplied through the diet of an organism. Now, this was all about the fatty acids, which are the building blocks of the lipids. Now, in our next topic, we will discuss about the classification of lipids. Until then, goodbye.